Good afternoon and or morning, GPC fans out there. Sorry, this is going out late. I kind of had a lot of distractions and I haven't had a lot of time to do this. Oh, by the way, I got a new, background. I can't really figure out how to get rid of this. I don't think I really can. And, like the little X, exit out, etc., etc. So, basically, this is as close as I can get to a professional layout. But yeah, as you can see, I recorded it on Showdown. It's post commentary, but I just recorded the actual match, and then I'm gonna commentate over the match and such. Anyways, he has a gas shot of Lucario, Thunder's T, Heatran, Mega Venusaur, and Clefable. Kind of what I expected. Didn't really expect much else. So if you saw my team builder, you'll know my sets. If you didn't watch it, otherwise you can just watch it blind. Not a problem. So I'm going to lead off with my Arcanine because I can get massive damage on almost anything on his team with any move I go for. So I'm just going to go for the Flare Blitz. I don't care if he goes into the Heatran. I am just going to go for it. I do a hefty amount and I get the burn. And definitely kind of unfortunate I got the burn. I mean, I didn't really want it, but I got it. So, it kind of helps in the long run. But I really didn't need to burn it. The Venusaur. I felt like it would have been fine if I didn't burn it. Anyways, I did burn it. And I thought he was going to go for like a Sludge Bomb or something, but he goes for Synthesis for, scouting out what moves that I was. But now he knows I'm really offensive. So I kind of figured out he would go into the Gastron because it walls my my main stat, but he goes into the Heatran. And now I'm going to go for, I'm going to go for the Bulldoze, hoping to catch him there. But obviously he was scouting for the close combat, and I don't have close combat this week. I have Bulldoze, and pretty good set of plays by Murk. I can definitely respect it. So now I'm just gonna, switch out into my Verzion. It's a pretty safe switch, and I'm pretty sure he is unaware Clefable to stop my Scizor. So I can't really SD on the Clefable, but just in case I am going to SD. So I want to see what happens if I do. And he goes straight into Clefable, so I'm like, yeah, this is 100% unaware. I wasn't 100% sure before, but now I'm 100% sure. So I just switched into my Arcanine. I'm pretty sure he won't go for T-Wave because he knows I'm Lumberry most likely. Goes for Moonblast at 20%. So now I have a free hit. I have a free hit here, for the most part. Go for Flare Blitz. I do a lot more. Well, not a lot more. I just do 2% more than the last time. And now I'm gonna pull off a switch. I'm kind of expecting for him to go for Sludge Bomb and just sack this thing because it's at 14%. But he keeps it for fodder later on, which I can respect. But I still get the free Mega off here because he didn't go into Thunder's T or Heatran. So, get the U-turn off, do a good amount of damage. Just gonna go into my Verzion. As long as he doesn't burn me, and even if he does burn me, I have a Lumberry to make sure I always am a good switch into this thing. And now I'm just gonna go for a Leaf Blade, see how much it does to his Clefable. I go for the Leaf Blade, I do a good amount, just 35%. Go into my Calci, like the standard Clefable spread. Not max defense, but pretty dang near it. And yeah, so I have to switch. I really have no other choice in the matter. I'm gonna go to my Arcanine because this thing forces a lot of offensive pressure on his team. As he goes for the Wish, I was kind of thinking he was gonna go into his Heatran here or something, or like the Venusaur. So I'm just gonna go for the Bulldoze. I think. No, I go for Morning Sun because I didn't think he would go into Heatran because it doesn't really hit me, anyways. Now this is the play that actually kind of changes the entire momentum on my side. I was thinking he was gonna go for A, Earth Power, B, Scald, or 3, Earthquake. I was taking A or B more than likely because I don't think he would want Earthquake when he could potentially get burned by my Arcanine. So I'm like, okay, I do my calcs. I don't take a lot from either Earth Power or Scald if he goes for it. And I kind of want this thing worn down because this thing is a huge problem to my Mega Scizor, huge problem to my Arcanine. And it's kind of a problem to Togekiss, but Togekiss can kind of wear it down pretty easily. So, I'm going to go for Toxic here. Kind of thinking he would go for either one of those two moves. And he goes for the Infestation. Now, I was looking at my team, and I asked him... I skipped my paper. Anyways, I looked at my team, and I looked at why he would have Infestation, and I'm like, why in the world would you have Infestation? It doesn't do much versus my team. I asked him about it, and he said it was supposed to mess with my initiative. And looking at my team still, like my other three Pokemon I could have brought was Kikilift, Manectric, and Manaphy. I'm like, how does that mess with my initiative? I don't understand. But, I'm not going to question anything because it's obviously worth it. Pretty much just seals the deal for my Arcanine. I'm not just going to die to this thing. So I'm like, that definitely sucks because this thing was a huge problem to his team. I didn't die to any one hit. I go for Morning Sun just so I can see how much his Scalds or Earth Powers are going to be doing. Get the crit, that's 91%, but it doesn't matter. I wasn't going to beat it 1v1 with Infestation on the field because I was taking about 70% every turn, so yeah, I was going to be dead. So now I'm going to my Rojo Tojo, and I'm 50% sure he's going to go into his Heat Trance, so I'm like, let's click Earthquake, why not? I do 64%, and I'm like, ooh, pretty spicy amount. So now I'm looking at his team, like I'm pretty sure he's going to keep the thing for Mega Scizor, so I'm going to make another play. Oh, shoot, what did I just do? Sorry about that. And I'm going to make another play, and I'm just going to go for the Psychic, predicting him to not stay in here, because this thing is kind of cool versus my team. So I'm going to go for the Psychic, and I do a good amount of damage, surprisingly. I do 33%. Not Life Orb or anything, so, you know, it's pretty good, just raw 33% from my stab Psychic. So at this point, we go into my Mega Scizor. If he has Fire Blast, I'm pretty sure he won't click it there. Wouldn't make any sense. He goes for Wish as I go for the Superpower, predicting him to go into Heatran because I know he's now Leftovers Heatran, not Chapel Berry. So I was thinking maybe he would go into that, but he doesn't. So now I'm just going to go for the U-turn, scouting for Fire Blast because if he would have clicked it, I thought he would click it here. Go to my Young Swine, and as he actually goes for another Wish, which I found pretty surprising, but then again, can't really touch it unless I had Iron Head. Like I said, in my team builder, I probably should have ran Iron Head, but I didn't do so. Anyways, I go for Earthquake, thinking he would switch into either A Heatran or B Venusaur again, but he doesn't do either of those. So now I'm just going to set my Stealth Rock. Pretty solid play on my part. I can whittle down the Heatran, and I can pretty much guarantee kill the Venusaur no matter what Pokemon's on the field. Anyways, I go for the Swords Dance here, scouting if he actually does have the Fire Blast, and he does. I was so close to clicking U-turn, but I didn't do that. So now my Scizor is actually very, very weakened to the point where it dies to a tackle. So at this point, I have to go to my Togekiss because I found out he can't touch me because I found out his whole moveset was Moonblast, Fire Blast, Wish, Protect. So at this point, I'm going to go for the Nasty Plot because there's no reason to not do so. Makes a pretty decent play, goes into the Heatran knowing I probably wasn't going to click HP Grind if I had it. So now I'm going to go for the Air Slash, do a lot of damage to this thing, proving he is very offensive. Not defensive at all whatsoever. And now I'm just going to go for the Air Slash again. And he makes a really good play. Sacks his Mega Venusaur knowing it died to every single Pokemon on my team. And he was like, this is about the time to where I should sack my Mega Venusaur. And now he goes into T to the 2. This is a pretty crucial play. Because he knows I have a Piloswine. And he knows I'm especially defensive after the Moonblast damage from Clefable. So I know he's either going to 1. Click Focus Blast. Or 2. Do anything else besides click an electric move. If he wants to try to overpredict and if he wants to play safe and just not click an electric move, not click Focus Blast and click an electric move, that would be a pretty decent play on his part. But I am Wakandberry, like I said in my team builder, so I don't die to any move this thing goes for, even a Sludge Wave if he does choose to go for that for some reason. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna click Dazzling Gleam, and this thing will be dead. Because according to my calc, it kills. It goes for Toxic and he misses. And I go for Dazzling Gleam. By the way, Togekiss has 2 kills so far in this match. He goes into his Lucario. I go to my calc, and I'm not very HP invested or specially defensive invested. I have 4 special defense, but even according to my calc, it's a roll to actually kill me with Flash Cannon if he's max special attack, timid Life Orb. If he's modest, he kills me, but I outspeed if he's modest, so that would be good information. And I'm like, okay, I have a chance to live. It's actually a 31% chance for me to die to this Flash Cannon, so I'm like, I'm gonna risk it. And I'm just going to go for the Dazzling Gleam, because it's accurate and it actually just kills it. And he goes for Flash Cannon, he actually is Timid Max Special Attack. I get the roll in my favor, because it was in my favor to begin with. And as a result, I pick up my 3rd kill with the Togekiss. Okay, this is a pretty crucial play. He knows that if I don't get the flincher, I lose one of my few Pokemon that can actually kill Clefable. In fact, it's probably the only one. So I'm like, okay, this is something I have to keep. If I lose this, I actually just might lose the game. And plus with Roost, I can easily roost up on either Gastrodon or Clefable, 2 out of his 3 remaining Pokemon. I go to my Latios and I take a good amount of damage from that Flash Cannon, proving he is offensive. And I go for the safe Earthquake, just in case he wanted to stay in, just sack it. But he goes into Gastrodon, which is fine, because Gastrodon does not beat me, even if he has Toxic. And if he does have Toxic, then it's fine, because this thing isn't too valuable versus his team. But I lied, because I have a Venusaur. I have a Virizion in the back that walls this Gastrodon. Even if I get burned, I have another chance to switch in, and if he burns me the second time, then oh well. Anyways, I go for the Leaf Blade, and looking at this damage, it does a lot of damage. So I'm like, oh, if I get the high crit ratio Leaf Blade, which would be great, I would actually kill it, but I don't, which is fair. I've gotten a good amount of packs already. Like that Toxic Miss, which would have put me in range of the Flash Cannon, which I feel really bad for. Anyways, I'm pretty sure he's going to click Protect, so I make a pretty cool play. I go to my 2% Scissor, so I'm like, okay. I want to click Roost here, but I feel like that's a bad play. So I'm just going to go for the U-turn. I think, I go for Bullet Punch, because I really wanted to weaken that Fable. Because it was a huge problem. So I'm like, okay, time to find out who's faster. He's actually faster, and he goes for Stealth Rock, which is cool, because my Scissor picks up the kill. And I killed a Heatran, meaning my Togekiss can easily recover up on both Pokemon. Here's a problem, it dies to rocks, so I gotta defog him immediately. So I sack my I sack my Scizor here, knowing I need to get a free switch into my Latias. He goes for Infestation, kills me from 2%, which I found pretty funny. So now I'm gonna go into my Latias, it's pretty much a free defog. Can't stop me from defogging whatsoever. So now my Togekiss is still around to mess with his team. That's great, because I need Togekiss to actually win this game. Goes for Infestation, and I almost had Energy Ball in this thing, but I decided to put Healing Wish over Energy Ball because I felt like it was just much more needed. And now I'm just going to go for Psychic because I do 39%, which is a good amount of damage, and according to that Toxic damage, he does not beat me 1v1. So I'm like, okay, he's probably going to switch eventually, that would make sense in my opinion. And this is the turn he chooses to do so. And I go for the Psychic, and I get not a much higher roll, but I get a higher roll than last time. I did 33% last time, I get 37% this time, which is pretty cool. I switch into my Piloswine because I want to set my Stealth Rock again, so I can start roaring this Clefable, putting it in range of 2 Leaf Blades potentially, because that's what I was thinking. And if I get a crit on one of those Leaf Blades, it's pretty much game. So like, okay, if I don't want to settle on trying to get the flinch of the Togekiss, this is my best option, because there's literally no other way I can actually win. Because I don't have Toxic on any of my other Pokemon. And the only one that actually had Toxic was Arcanine, and seeing that I was expecting an unaware Clefable, I probably should have ran Toxic on like Piloswine or something, but to each their own. Anyways, as you see, I made a series of plays with Piloswine plus Virizion. I got my Virizion on the gas run because it walls it. I go for the Leaf Blade here, and hoping to get like some extreme crit. I don't, but even if I got a crit, it would have only done 45%. I'm gonna go for the. No, I'm just kidding. I don't go for the Leaf Blade here. I go to my Piloswine because I kind of just want to roar this thing. That'd be pretty cool because Roar doesn't go through Protect. I mean, Roar goes through Protect, so he wouldn't be able to get his HP back. I go for Roar, and he goes down to 58%. So I'm like, this is great because now Fable isn't a switch into 2 Leaf Blades anymore. That's fantastic. So at this point, I'm gonna go into my Virizion again. Literally no reason not to. He hasn't burned me once because he's only gone for Skull twice. And 30% chance to my favorite to not get burned. So anyways, the best play he can make here is actually sacking this thing because it's no use for him to actually keep it. And I killed him Gastron, so now it's 4v1, Clefable versus the world. And this Clefable can actually 1v1 the entire world because I don't have a good Pokemon to deal with this thing. Anyways, he goes for Moonblast to kill me off, which is fine. I was attacking Piloswine to begin with. Excuse me, I have to burp. Anyways, here comes the most annoying part of the game. I'm just going to talk over this because this is pretty annoying. It's going to be about 30 turns of Togekiss trying to kill this Clefable. And, Air Slash is a chance to flinch. It's a 30%. It's a 60% chance to flinch every single time. I go for the first Air Slash, I get a crit and a flinch, and I felt bad about that. So I'm like, okay, as long as he doesn't burn me Fire Blast, I actually just win this exchange, I think. So that's great. And since he's unaware of my stat drop, if he does get a Moonblast drop, I will be 100% fine. So I'm just trying to get the flinch here. If I get one more flinch, I would be okay, but I miss. So I'm like, that's kind of annoying. So now he gets to be full HP, and I'm like, oh, I felt like he would go for Protect, but he doesn't go for Protect, and that's fine. And I'm able to go for Roost, be back at 75%, so I'm like, okay, time to try to flinch this thing down again. I go for the first one, and not only do I not get the flinch, but he gets a crit Fire Blast there. Luckily not a burn, so I'm like, cool. So you know what, I'm going to go for a Roost here, because a crit Moonblast would kill me. But he goes for Fire Blast instead, and he gets the burn here. And this is huge, because this requires me to sack 2 of my Pokemon off here. I have to sack Virizion because Latios isn't a switch in because Moonblast does kill me, I believe. So the only thing I can do is sack Virizion to this thing, Go into my Latias, Healing Wish, and hope Togekiss can win from there, which is honestly my last opportunity. And this sucks because if I had Toxic on any of my Pokemon, this game was over. And I'm like, that's pretty unfortunate. So I go to my RegiGiant, and I'm just going to sack this thing to the Moonblast. I lived the first one, but this actually kind of sucks because he knows he could take 2 Leaf Blades even if he does get flinched, even if he does get a crit on 1 Leaf Blade. So he's going to go for the Wish, and he knows he can live a crit Leaf Blade no matter what. So he's just going to let me die. And he's going to be back at about 70%. I would say 70, okay, yeah, 82% after leftovers, and that's quite annoying. So I'm gonna go into my Latias, Healing Wish, it's my only play. And now it's Togekiss versus Clefable. It was originally 4v1 just a couple turns ago. Now it's actually pretty dang close. So I'm like, okay, I just have to hope I can. If I don't get the flinch on my Air Slashes and I run out of Air Slashes, then it actually just comes down to a stall war, and that would be absolutely terrible. Which I think Togekiss would still win, but it still sucks. Anyways, he misses the first Fire Blast out of his 8, which is expected, I guess. He goes for it to protect us. I go for Air Slash because I can't fuck around with this thing. It's just a threat. So I just gotta keep continually clicking Air Slash. It's my only play. I believe I do get the flinch here. Yes, I do. So I'm like, okay, if I get a couple more flinches here, I will be the winner of this exchange. But he goes tactic again because he knows I can't really screw around with this thing. He's gonna try to PP stall me out of Air Slash, which is, you know, his only play because he ran out of Fire Blast at this point. Anyways, I go for Air Slash and he doesn't get flinched, and he goes for a Wish, and I'm like, dang it. I'm gonna go for a Dazzling Gleam and I find out the damage differential. So I'm like, okay, that's good for future information just in case he's at like 35%. I would know Dazzling Gleam could potentially kill, but it's a roll, so that kind of sucks. Anyways, he goes for Wish, and I'm like, this is definitely not what I want. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for the Dazzling Gleam here. I get a crit Dazzling Gleam, which is cool, but you know, since he went for a Wish, it doesn't matter whatsoever. So I'm like, okay, this is my second round at this, actually my third. So I'm gonna go for Air Slash. I don't get a flinch, but he goes for Moonblast here, thank God, because if he went for Wish, that would have been kind of a problem. I go for Air Slash again, and I get the flinch here. So I'm like, I'm 100% certain he's going to click Protect because he's been a cheeky bastard this entire match with his Clefable. So I'm going to go for Roost on his Protect. So I'm like, that felt nice. So I need one more Air Slash flinch, and if I get this one last Air Slash flinch, which may I mention isn't my favorite, I win the match, and I do. And that's basically the 1-0 victory to the Texas Turtwig versus RegiGiants of San Francisco and Mr.Murkrow. He does say undeserved at the very end. I'm like, that kind of stung. But you know what? I would have been kind of salty too. But you know, oh shit, this is replaying. Let me just pause really quick. But yeah, I felt bad about the Hex. But then looking back at it, I was like, none of it really mattered. The only one that actually really changed the game was the Toxic Mist, because I would not have stayed in on the Flash Cannon, and I would have probably, you know, sacked Palace One or something. And you know, it would have been a much closer game at that point. So, I mean, I definitely felt bad. I felt bad about that. The burn on Venusaur did not matter in my opinion, because I was willing that thing down pretty easily with the Zen Headbutt, Venus, RegiGiant, U-turn, Scizor, Psychic, Latias, Air Slash, Togekiss. Palestine did a good amount of Earthquake, surprisingly, because I found out he was not very defensive invested. And Arcanine, of course, had Flare Blitz. So, you know what? Did it really matter on Venusaur? I don't think so. And then he called the roll on the. Well, I mean, he didn't call it a hacks, but he was like, I deserve that Flash Cannon kill. I was like, no, it's a 31% chance for you to kill. I don't know if you should deserve that or not. It's a 69% chance of my favorite Giggity. Anyways, that is the entire match, and you know, kind of controversial that I had to end that way with, you know, Togekiss being what it does. And speaking of Togekiss, I got 4 kills at the very end of the game. Scizor got 1, and the other one went to, what was it? Who got the other kill? I kind of forgot already, but it doesn't matter. I put it down on the sheet, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, next week I play Makity, and you know, pretty threatening player, pretty well known around the GBA and such. And I'm definitely going to be prepared to face him, and hopefully it doesn't come down to RNG like this one did. So yeah, that's basically me, and I will be out of here. Sorry about the late upload again, and hopefully it doesn't happen next week. But I don't know, high school is pretty tough. I'm like in the toughest high school in the nation, well, in the state at least, but one of the toughest in the nation. So we'll see. So yeah, I'll be seeing you next time, and au revoir and peace.